Hey look, it's time for upcoming
Farm Simulation RPG
titles, beginning with Fae Farm, the very title that is in this clip, but I promise not to spam you with it in this video, where this game takes place in a fairy tale world. There's crafting, farming, and personalization of your homestead, where the dash of Fae magic just makes everything seem that much more wonderful. There's also mining and a dungeon crawling system, where most interestingly, this has co-op support for up to 4 players and is also a Switch exclusive, looking pretty good and should be out later this year. No, what you're looking at is not Stardew Valley, where the developers of Super Zoo Story, rightfully so, caught some flack when this game was announced since it has an awfully similar look to Stardew Valley. However, I believe they are intending to clean up and change some of the assets, so I'll give them a pass for now, where the zookeeping simulation portion is their unique twist, where it seems like you need to grow some food for your herbivores. I do think that the proportions of the animals are a little off, but the tiny panda in this trailer is just so adorable, even expanding to include dinosaurs and mammoths, so hopefully they will get the art sorted out. A Chinese-themed title that looks kind of interesting is Daomei Village, translated as Unlucky Village, where you have been banished to this location by the Emperor for your crimes, now tasked with tending the fields, raising animals, and improving the village in order to redeem yourself. There's a whole taxation system that you need to worry about, so it is not that low stress, but you will eventually be able to befriend the other unlucky villagers who have also been banished, forming a little community all on your own. Interestingly, combat seems to be much more involved, where the trailer shows multiple weapons such as swords, bows, twin daggers, and even a bow staff, but do note that this is from Polish developer Gameperik rather than a Chinese developer. A long-in-development title that has seen its share of ups and downs through development is Farm Folks, first kickstarted in 2018, where the developer was facing issues and the IP was wholly bought over by publisher Critivo, who are developing it in-house, completely revamping the game as it looked like this initially. They did release this crab rave inspired video for Halloween, and it looks like they are gearing up for another Kickstarter campaign, which naturally has led to a number of angry backers, but I do hope that they can do this game justice and deliver the cozy game that everyone wants. An ambitious looking title is The Ranchers, one that has an open world structure where you have the ability to build quite a modern day looking farm with your own house, silos, barn, granaries, and so much more. The proportions in this are certainly more realistic looking, perhaps along the line of a Pixar animated movie, where all the expected elements are present, including farming, raising animals, and even starting a family. It does have co-op support as well, so you can play with friends, and with the open world structure, there's plenty to explore and do, including delving into mines, exploring islands, and more, with a touch of fantasy with monsters as well. The last part was quite unexpected, given the theme, since this fantasy aspect does seem to clash with the modern day setting, where you're even able to drive a car or truck in town and are able to go into pubs and restaurants. This had a tremendously successful Kickstarter campaign and should be out later this year as well. I just previewed Everdream Valley when looking at upcoming releases of May, so surprise! This game is releasing in about a month, so do look forward to this. It might take you back to a simpler time where you play as a young kid, living with your grandparents on a farm during summer, helping out with planting crops, raising animals, and various upgrades and repairs to the homestead itself. Everything in this game looks adorable, especially the animals, but the absolutely beautiful and vibrant color palette helps as well. The twist here is that you will be able to play as an animal at night, with various tasks and mini-games to give the farm a boost the next day, looking very cozy indeed. Come on, if you know me, of course the pixel art farming game Pixelshire is my jam. Looking fairly by the numbers all things considered, but the pixel art is beautiful and looks to have compelling systems. If you love farming, fishing, getting to know the villagers, completing quests and building, I'm sure that this will be of interest, where there is even a combat element. The developer even talks about exploring and uncovering the secrets of the entire continent of Arcadia with procedurally generated islands and dungeons to explore, potentially hiding a much more in-depth experience, so we will have to wait and see. Another cozy looking title is Sally, set on board a flying airship which is manned by kids, being taken care of by two caring grandmothers, and it's about getting to know the other children and to establish lifelong friendships with them as you work together to farm, cook, craft, build and explore your way through this Ghibli-inspired world. Exploring and venturing to the new locations is one of the main draws, where they have shown off wondrous landscapes, cuddly creatures and even different seasons and biomes. You're attempting to find a new home for everyone on board, but in order to do so, the dreams and aspirations of everyone must first be fulfilled, looking like another heartwarming tale waiting to be told. A title that crosses between two of my favourite genres is Ova Magica, being a farming game crossed with a turn-based monster taming RPG, with a dose of Slime Rancher for good measure since you're raising and breeding slimes. The slimes help you in your farming activities, where the expected mining and tree cutting elements are present as well, with a whole cast of characters that you can get to know and even develop relationships with. There's a whole dungeon crawling expedition aspect where the slimes can fight in turn-based combat with what looks to be a rock-paper-scissors style elemental combat system, where the cross-breeding and passing down of traits looks particularly interesting. We did get some news earlier this year that Lightyear Frontier got delayed, where this first-person farming title in the mech looks awesome, having a little bit of Slime Rancher influence as well with the suction mechanic. It looks beautiful and chill, being set on an alien planet, which of course does have some secrets to uncover and giant creatures to encounter, where the perspective alone makes this quite the curiosity. A game that has undergone a massive change since we last saw it is One Lonely Outpost, shifting from pure 2D to one that mixes 2D sprites with 3D environments. I know that some of you are not a fan of this, and rightfully so, but I'll be waiting to see how this game turns out. It's a sci-fi title where you're colonizing an alien planet, terraforming the land and planting life-sustaining plants, eventually being able to support animals and more. The sci-fi slant is the most interesting aspect, where you can choose one of two routes, synthetic or naturalist, where the former includes GMOs and robo-cows, while the latter is more on the organic side of things. There are ancient alien mysteries to uncover and a whole community to cultivate, where things seem to be accelerating with development and should be a 2023 release as well. Oh my goodness, this title, for good reason, had one of the most successful Kickstarter campaigns. We'll tell you more about the figures later, where Puff Pals Island Skies is one of the coziest farming games out there, since they added these adorable creatures named Puff Pals into the game. These are residents, shopkeepers, and even visiting guests to the Sky Islands, from an adorable cow, chicken, duck in a hat, raccoon, possum, frog, and more. And then it hits you with a double whammy, where the crops that you grow also have faces like an adorable living carrot. So it's no wonder that it raised $2.5 million, more than 34 times its initial target, so they certainly have something special on their hands. Moonstone Island is a deck-building, farming sim, action-adventure, exploration, monster taming RPG, which of course is a lot of things all meshed into one, where the combination of art and mechanics is completely my jam. You play as an alchemist in training, having to spend a year away from home, settling down on a floating island in the sky and getting to know the local community. There's plenty of farming, since you need to grow crops and flowers in order to brew potions, eventually being able to tame the various spirits and for them to battle on your behalf. There's dungeon crawling and exploration, where you can use everything from brooms to balloons and gliders to get around. I love the pixel art here, and of course, the monster taming aspect is a no-brainer since I love looking at monster designs. I am so very happy to share this title since it has been on my watchlist for the longest of time, but they did not have a trailer ready, releasing one in the past couple of days and revealing their publisher, where Paleo Pines is a farming sim with dinosaurs, so of course I'm down for this. It looks adorable, where the ability to mount and ride these dinos around looks cool, being able to explore the island and to uncover its secrets, eventually creating the ideal dino sanctuary. The dinosaurs can even help in the farming itself, which, mixed in with the ranching aspect, makes this one of my most anticipated titles. You play as a former big city cat in this title, making your way to a ruined island to live the simple life. It has a curious mix of 2D sprites and 3D environments and objects, but again, it's kind of comfort food in terms of the activities that you can do. But hey, Stacko gives me the warm, fuzzy feelings, where you can get more of those with these relaxing games.
Farm Simulation RPG.